Have you ever given blood? You should consider doing that. Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining me in the studio is Ashley Hughes. She is the district manager for the American Red Cross, and they run blood drives to give blood. Ashley, why is it important that people give blood?
It's important because there's a constant need. So every 2 seconds, somebody across the United States of America requires a blood product transfusion. So that could be somebody gets a diagnosis of cancer and their chemo and radiation destroys their platelets. It could be a mother hemorrhaging during childbirth and requires an infusion of blood. So there's a lot of different reasons, but the constant need is always there.
Well, I think oftentimes we think of blood when there's an emergency, an accident, or there's a tornado that went through an area, but that's not really the case. Blood is needed all the time.
All the time, every 2 seconds, as I mentioned. So even though it's great when a disaster does happen, so recently, a tornado comes through in Kentucky and takes 200 units off of our shelves. We're so glad that they were there, but we have to replenish that, and we never know when a disaster is going to happen. So ensuring that we do have not only the inventory for when a disaster occurs, but also for that constant need of those folks that just every day, every 2 seconds, somebody needing something.
How long do you keep blood? How long will blood last?
So there is a shelf life,
Okay.
And each blood type actually has its own kind of window of time frame. We do a procedure called a power red at our blood drives, our mobile sites. And what that is we only take certain blood types most of the time for that. The reason being is because those other blood types have a shorter shelf life, and we want to be the best stewards of our blood products possible. So that's why maybe an A positive person isn't able to necessarily donate a power red, whereas our O neg, O positive, A neg, and B negative folks could.
Okay. Do you have people who regularly give blood?
We do. We have so many loyal people. I can tell you in Du Bois County, it is the most loyal group of people in the surrounding counties in terms of donating blood. But because our blood goes where it is needed most, so it could be outside of Du Bois County that the blood does go to, in the event of those disasters or that hospital is in need, we're always looking for new donors. We're always looking for folks to start donating with us that maybe have never given it a chance.
Do you ever have an oversupply of blood?
I can say not since I've been here.
Okay.
We did slow collections a little bit during the pandemic. What happened was our hospitals across the country, they stopped doing elective surgeries. And so what that meant is they didn't necessarily need as much products as what they were using prior to the pandemic. So I have never not been stressed out about our supply because my job is really to ensure that we collect over 20,000 units a year just in the 30 counties I cover.
So then right now, is there a need for blood?
So there's always a need. It's a constant need. In June, we collected 12% less than what we needed for our hospital commitment across the country. And so our group, the folks that report to me that cover those 30 counties, we were also short in meeting that hospital commitment. And so we're still working to replenish the blood supply. And we know that as our schools start, we would love to be back inside working with our high school students and our college students. But COVID is still around, and so if that prevents us from being able to reach those folks to be able to get them to donate, we're gonna need blood more so than maybe necessarily we have before.
Who can give blood? Can anybody give blood?
So we ask that if you think you might be eligible, you definitely can sign up and make an appointment. We have what we call like a mini physical before you come in. So we'll ask that you read some pre-donation material, and that's information put out by the FDA. So we're regulated by the FDA. Any of our qualifications or eligibility is based on FDA regulation at that time on any given day. And so you'll read some pre-reading material, and then our first level of defense for a healthy blood supply is asking some pretty intimate questions about just, as that safety net for our blood supply. So you do get asked a couple of questions, either on your rapid pass, which you complete before you come in, or while you're there in the health history area. And then if you do answer one of those questions that could flag you for eligibility, that's when our team of phlebotomists will work through to see if you are eligible or you're not.
Is there too young an age to give blood?
So in the state of Indiana, you can donate blood at the age of 16 as long as you have a parental consent form. You can find those at redcrossblood.org. Basically, because you're 16, we are required to ensure that you do have that parental guardian sign off. 17 and up, actually, you're not required to have any parental permission. We just have to have a valid form of ID proving that you are the age that you say you are.
Can you be too old to give blood?
No, no. And we actually have folks, we have a volunteer couple who are in their mid-90s. They still transport blood across this tri-state. We have folks who donate that are in their 80s and up that are still eligible. I've met so many people that don't even take medications in that age range, and I'm just sitting here thinking, man, I'm already on 2 medications. I need whatever they're doing implemented into my life. So,
Is it, for people that don't know, is it easy to give blood? I'm sure you make it as easy as possible, but how long will it take me?
Yeah.
Oh, do I need to do something first? What happens? How does it work?
Yeah, so we encourage appointments. We are able to take walk-ins depending upon how many folks we currently have signed up for a drive. Obviously, we don't want you sitting there waiting forever, but we do encourage appointments just so we can make sure we have enough staff members there, enough supplies to ensure that we're collecting all that we can. Once you get there, again, you're going to read through that pre-reading material. If you've completed Rapid Pass, then you're good. We'll send you back to our health history. If not, then we'll have you either complete Rapid Pass or you'll complete that in the health history. And what that health history is, it's actually a mini physical. So we'll check your iron levels, your blood pressure. We'll make sure everything checks out and that you're eligible for that next step, which is actually getting on one of our donation beds and donating blood. Typically, people are not on the beds for more than 15, 20 minutes. And that's with us prepping the arm to make sure that we've cleaned it appropriately. That's with making sure that we're doing the venipuncture, and then all the steps that we do once you're done donating blood. So all in all, we do suggest if you're planning to donate blood, give yourself about 45 minutes to an hour window. You're not donating blood that whole time, but the process does take a little bit. And I kind of liken it to like an urgent care. If you make an appointment, you're probably going to get seen first. If you're a walk-in, you may have a little bit of a wait time, but also sometimes if somebody's having a negative reaction, so they're not feeling well, maybe they didn't eat before they came in to donate, which always eat really, really good, then that could slow down our process. So just always making sure you give yourself a little wiggle of a time.
How much blood do I give? How much comes out?
Yeah. So even if you do our Power Reds or if you do a whole blood donation, we'll take 1 pint, which is actually 2 cups.
Okay, so that doesn't affect the body at all, no big deal.
No. So that's why we have height weight restrictions. The younger you are, the heavier you have to be in terms of your weight, your height. The taller you are, typically you do have to weigh a little bit more if you're a younger person, so under the age of 18. Really, once you turn 18, kind of all bets are off. But it doesn't affect a person. Males actually tend to have more blood volume in their system than females do, but we're still taking our 2 cups, our 1 pint. So,
what are some myths about giving blood that you'd like to dispel?
Yeah, so it's not the same as donating blood at a doctor's office. When you do your blood test, that's not the case. We have a lot of people who say, oh, well, I just got a tattoo, or I was never eligible to donate because I served time overseas in Europe. Because we have an FDA regulation that used to defer an individual, and it had to do with kind of mad cow disease potential. But the FDA has changed quite a few of their regulations as our testing becomes even more advanced. We are able to ensure still that our blood supply is extremely safe while also opening the doors for more equitable opportunities for individuals to be able to donate. So if there's a question about if you're eligible or not, please do go to our website, redcrossblood.org. There's a click down box where you can see all your eligibility. Some folks will say, well, what if I'm on a medication, or what if I have diabetes? There are folks who are diabetic that actually are able to donate blood. It all depends on certain things. Even if you've been out of the country, we used to have a lot of folks, missionaries, that would say, oh, I've been out of the country, I haven't been able to donate, you make me wait a whole year. Well, the FDA has actually changed that requirement too. So specific places that you've been outside of the country may now only be a 3-month deferral instead of an entire year.
this may be kind of weird, but let's say I want to give blood, but I just got over the flu a week ago. Does that affect it?
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of folks will say, ooh, I've been exposed to COVID, or I have had COVID, am I eligible to donate, things like that. The very first question that we're going to ask you in our health history, or if you do the rapid pass, is do you feel well today? So the big thing is we want to make sure that you feel well, because if you're under a doctor's orders, if you've just had surgery, certain things like that, by taking blood from you while you're still healing, we wouldn't want to adversely affect that healing process. So if you're under doctor's orders, they're going to tell you to wait. If you're on antibiotics or steroids, they're going to have you wait until you're off of those things to be able to donate blood. But we do encourage, if you have questions about your eligibility, to certainly give us a call or to look at our website.
Okay, now you have a website. I'm sure there's a phone number you can call. There's an app as well for those who are app friendly.
Yes, yeah, for those who are app friendly. So regardless of if you have an iPhone or an Android, Samsung, we have the opportunity for you to have our blood donor app. There's a lot of cool features on there. Not only can you schedule yourself for your blood drives, it does keep track of all your health history information. I kind of liken that to a My Chart or something if your hospital has that feature or that app. And also what it can do is if you make your appointment in the app, it will tell you which hospital your blood ultimately ends up at once it's been processed, tested, and distributed, which is really cool.
That's kind of neat. Now,
yeah,
if someone is wanting to give blood, you hold blood drives all the time throughout the year, different places, different locations,
yes,
through different organizations. So having that app or going to your website will help you to keep track of that.
Yes.
What if I just happen to have some time today and I'd like to give blood? Can I guess in Evansville is where you would go?
Well, so my team and I cover about 30 counties in the tri-state. That includes southern Indiana, a part of Kentucky, as well as southern Illinois. And so there actually is an opportunity to donate today in Huntingburg. But there's opportunities that abound pretty consistently throughout Du Bois County and the surrounding areas. Again, we encourage those appointments be made. You can call 1-800-RED CROSS, or you can go online and schedule that. But if you do just find yourself your plans have changed, by all means, when you pull up on our website to search blood drives near you, you can search via your zip code. If you're traveling, again, you can search via your zip code. And one feature too is you can actually change your distance. So it's going to start with like a 5-mile radius. What's 5 miles around me? But we know rural Indiana, there could be other opportunities just a little farther out. We're not strangers to having to drive. And so what you can do is then you can make that distance a little bit further, all the way out to 50 miles out from the current location of where you're at.
So the important thing is people just need to consider giving blood, regardless of who you are, because age apparently doesn't matter. It means I could give blood. Anything else that you'd like to add?
You never know. One thing that I want folks to understand is you don't wake up and think, man, today I'm going to need blood, or my mom's going to get that cancer diagnosis, or my sister's going to be in a car accident and require, right? We don't think about that. And thank goodness we don't when we wake up, because what a gloomy place that would be. But if you can get into the habit of donating every 56 days, if it's whole blood, or every 112 days, if it's our Power Red, if you can do that, then you are consistently maxing out your opportunities to help save hospital patient lives, so that when it is your sibling or your parent or yourself that requires it, that you're able to make that difference and know that you did everything that you could. So anyone and everyone who could be eligible, we ask that you do sign up now, tomorrow, next month, etc.
Okay, so consider giving blood, because you never know when you may need it. And even if you never need it, and we hope you don't, you'll be helping others, because giving blood saves lives.
It does, yeah. Every time you donate, you have the opportunity to potentially save 3 people's lives. And that's awesome to me, just crazy awesome how great that is, of something that freely we're given that we can give to others.
All right, Ashley, thank you very much for being our guest.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching 18 WJTS. We are local people watching local people. Remember, give blood. Our guest has been Ashley Hughes. She is the district manager for the American Red Cross. Thanks for watching.